What's it like to die and then show up at your ex-boyfriend's wedding? Well, I've got a story for you. Want to hear it? I'm a ghost. Freshly dead, only a few days gone. I was pretty chill about the whole thing, honestly. But when I stormed back from the Bridge of Sighs to confront that jerk Ethan, I found him walking right through me, turning the key and strolling into his place. I froze. Damn it. All that rage, throwing Lady Meng's soup bowl and startling the line of souls behind me, for nothing. So here I am, totally bummed out. If this guy can't even see me, what's the point of coming back? Oh, right. Maybe I should introduce myself first? My name doesn't matter. I'm a newbie ghost. Died a few days ago at 26. Cause of death? Nothing dramatic, just a terminal illness, tough to cure. I queued for days at the Bridge of Sighs, and today was finally my turn. Just as I got my bowl of Lady Meng's soup, the ghost behind me dropped a bombshell. In a fit of fury, I chucked the soup and charged back to the living world. Ethan's getting married. On the 7th day after my death, Ethan and I have a complicated history. Broadly, he was my high school buddy, my first love, if you want to get sappy. More recently, my dumb ex-boyfriend. Even closer, my fling, or rather, I generously sponsored him. I strutted in, head high, boldly laying out the deal. He raised an eyebrow, smirked, and agreed. Closer still, he was the one by my side during the final days of my life. With that kind of bond, I probably shouldn't have come back to hassle him. I know his marriage has nothing to do with me. I'm dead, our arrangement's over, and he's free to do whatever. But I'm still pissed. Really pissed. So pissed my non-existent lungs feel like they're about to explode. Why? Even I don't fully get it. All the way back from the bridge, I mulled it over. After some thought, I figured it's because I'm a ghost with morals and a sense of justice. I feel bad for the girl he's marrying. After all, we were together for months, and he never once mentioned her, let alone wedding plans. What kind of irresponsible husband does that? It's outrageous, and that's why I'm mad. Yeah, that's gotta be it. Ethan's already inside the house. I look around. No signs pointing to the underworld. In my anger, I forgot the way back, so after some sighing, I follow this idiot inside. This is my place. Ethan moved in later, and we lived here together for a long time. Before I died, I told him, "This house is yours. You've lived here long enough. Keep it for your future wedding gift." He laughed and said, "After living here with you for so long, how could I let anyone else move in?" He was mixing my medicine then, some bitter as hell powder I can't recall the name of. He grabbed juice from the fridge, his long, pale fingers shaking the glass, saying, "Today's apple flavor." That moment feels so vivid, like it's right in front of me. Now, floating at the entrance, I see the house looks exactly the same as always, and I can't help but zone out. Damn it. If I'd known this jerk would get married on my 7th day, I'd have burned this place down before heading to the underworld rather than leave it to him. Ethan checks the clock. 5 minutes to 10. Then he heads to his room. Meanwhile, I'm like a guard dog, and zooming through every corner of the house, sniffing out anything off. The photo of us is still on the table. Good, not replaced with one of his fiancée. My beloved little white model still stands proudly against the wall. Great. He didn't toss it to avoid scaring his bride. The house's black, white, gray decor, my style, is untouched. Perfect. No tacky red wedding decorations plastered everywhere. Wait, why is the fountain pen I left on the desk still in the exact same spot? Hold on. That bag of chips I opened ages ago, why hasn't it been thrown out? The house looks identical to when I left, and for a moment, I'm confused. Then it hits me. Ethan's family isn't poor, and he used to have a decent job. He doesn't need this place as a wedding venue. As for the unchanged stuff, maybe he just didn't notice while cleaning. I let out a sigh of relief, but a pang of loneliness creeps in. Being a ghost makes you moody and sentimental. I glance around to distract myself, and my eyes land on our photo again. It's from high school. That day, I dragged Ethan, who'd never skipped class, to watch a basketball game we barely understood. In the photo, I'm grinning like an idiot, while Ethan's got his usual stone-cold face like frosty mist. But let's be real, his type was a hit with girls. From high school to now, the love letters and gifts never stopped. In the picture, we're leaning into each other. The icy-faced guy is wrapped in the arms of the sunflower smile guy, so close it's like we'd never part. Who'd have thought we'd end up in the same house, separated by the widest gap in the world, life and death. I'd been cool with dying until now, But at this moment, I can't help feeling a little sad. At 10 sharp, Ethan's phone alarm goes off. I instinctively glance at the kitchen, and sure enough, he's there. Like always, he grabs the medicine I could never pronounce, mixes it with warm water, then adds juice at a 1:1 ratio. His slender fingers shake the glass and set it aside. Yup, it's Wednesday. Strawberry flavor. I reach for it like old times, but my hand passes through his like mist, touching nothing. I freeze. Ethan doesn't react. He just says, "Drink slowly," and places the glass where I used to sit, swinging my legs. I figure he's just stuck in habit, like me. I wait for him to snap out of it, embarrassed. But 2 minutes later, he picks up the glass, says, "No surprise, strawberry's all gone," like he said a million times before. Then he dumps the medicine down the sink. I'm stunned again. Damn it. I'm dead, aren't I? Why does my heart suddenly hurt so much? Also, dude, do you know that imported medicine costs tens of thousands per box? Whatever, it's expensive, but Ethan can't take it, so dump it if he wants. Still, having sponsored him, I'm a bit worried about this guy's mental health. Before I died, I asked him what he'd do after I was gone. What if he got too used to being my kept man and couldn't fend for himself? Wouldn't that mean I'd ruined a perfectly good guy? He was playing a game then, looked up, thought seriously, and said, "Find another sugar daddy?" My heart sank. Yup, I'd ruined him, but I figured Ethan wouldn't fall that far. He's smart, always getting awards in school, acing crazy certifications, piling up trophies that could crush someone. That brilliant brain of his should know sugar daddies like me, willing to hand over everything, aren't exactly common. Later, I overheard his old boss call, sounding like they wanted him back with a promotion and raise. Ethan was smoking on the balcony, shrouded in haze, his voice low and husky in the summer heat. Not considering it for now. We'll talk later. Hearing "for now," I figured there was more to come, but I never followed up. Looking at him now, maybe he's planning to get married, go on a honeymoon, then return to work. Taking leave for a wedding? Pretty carefree, huh? I stare at his calm back, lost in thought. When we agreed to the sponsorship deal, we'd been broken up for years. Following the ex-lover code of worthy of sending funeral invites, we hadn't contacted each other, like the other never existed. Meeting again was awkward. I, a grown man, slapped a shoddy contract on his chest, raised an eyebrow, and coolly said, "Body only, no heart." He ignored me, too busy reading my medical records. His long, thin fingers, knuckles sharp, were trembling. I teased him, "What's with you? Parkinson's at 20-something?" He kept his head down for a long time, his voice hoarse and shaky. "Shut up." Kinda harsh. He wasn't even that harsh when we broke up. "Chutch, that's no way to talk to your sugar daddy." Ethan signed the sloppy contract, a win-win deal. I hadn't saved much, but I had some cash in a downtown apartment, enough to cover him for a couple of years. I even made 2 copies at a print shop, reiterating, "Body only, no heart." Ethan just hummed, still cool as ever. Sure, Ethan could be a total idiot sometimes, but he always kept his word. If he agreed, he wouldn't back out. If he said no heart, then even if he gave his kidneys, lungs, and spleen, his heart would stay untouched. So when I died, I was at peace. But now it seems I was too quick to relax. He's getting married and still mixing my medicine? Is he trying to ward off bad luck to fully move on from me? Is that how you ward off bad luck? Ethan finishes mixing the medicine and starts gaming, oblivious to the extra presence in the house. Well, not a person, a ghost. I don't game, so I don't go near the computer. Normally, I'd be sprawled on the couch, scrolling my phone, watching movies or reading novels, but now my ghost hands can't unlock anything, so I'm just floating around, bored out of my mind, staring at Little White in the living room. Little White's a skeleton, majestic and lean, exactly 180 centimeters without joints. Male, a treasure I bought. I'm not a creep. I studied medicine. A med student who couldn't save himself. Ironic, right? But it's fine. Studying medicine gave me knowledge, so I'm more at peace with death than most. Like when my professor diagnosed me, my hands didn't shake like Ethan's. Parkinson's at his age? Not as tough as me. I poke Little White's cheekbone. Little White, I'm finally taller than you. I can be as tall as I want now, shapeshift even. Little White ignores me. I poke again. You've been in my house so long. If we restored your muscles and nerves, wonder what you'd look like. With those bones, probably pretty hot. Little White still ignores me. I poke once more. Still not as hot as me. Victory! A female voice booms, scaring the hell out of me. That idiot Ethan won his game and yanked off his headphones. Suddenly, my whole body feels heavy, heavier than when I was alive. Something hooks the back of my neck like I'm meat hanging in a market. My perspective shifts, objects tilting. I'm dazed for half a minute before it hits me. I'm stuck in this damn skeleton. I'm beyond bummed, super bummed. What bad intentions could a little ghost like me have? All I wanted was a polite, friendly chat with my jerk ex who's marrying on my 7th day. This situation's a bit awkward. I silently recite core socialist values twice to calm down, then try moving an arm without muscles or nerves. Creak. Holy crap, it moved. Let me just say, this skeleton bends to my will. Since Little White came to my house, I've posed it in all sorts of cool badass stances. Like just now, it was in a hands-on hips, head-tilted, maniacal laugh pose. I moved a bit and one arm dropped, turning it into a sassy one-hand-on-hip pose. Before I can critique it, I hear the study door click open. I'm so scared my soul nearly ascends to paradise. Ethan's long legs step out, suspiciously scanning the living room, then locking onto me, his brows furrowing slightly. I'm completely freaked out. Was Ethan a damn monkey king in his past life, spotting flaws with fiery eyes? How can he see me in this pristine skeleton? Ethan walks toward me, and my heart, well, my non-existent heart, panics. As I recite core socialist values for the 3rd time, praying he reveals his true form, Ethan suspiciously lifts my dropped arm back to my hip, restoring the pose. Damn it, forgot about that. Ethan lets go and steps back, expressionless, staring at the joint, lost in thought. After 3 tense minutes, he looks up, not sure if he's talking to Little White or himself, and says calmly, "Don't fall again. If that idiot saw, he'd think you're not badass enough." Then he turns and leaves, leaving me with his cold, proud back. You're the idiot. Your whole street's full of idiots. Also, my ex has got a killer figure, damn. Today's the 3rd day since I died. If that ghost snooze is true, Ethan's wedding is in 4 days. But he's so calm, not a hint of pre-wedding jitters. I can't help feeling mad for his fiancée. At night, Ethan sits on the balcony reading an old book, probably some ancient tome he dug up somewhere. When I was dying, evenings were for me gaming and him reading, sometimes doing things best left undescribed. The only difference now is the open window, pages rustling in the breeze, making my skeleton sway lightly. Ethan's gotta be nuts, reading with the window open in the winter chill. Brain freeze much? The wind howls eerily, freaking me out. I curse Ethan while shivering and reciting core socialist values. Then I look up and meet a pair of eyes staring right at me. I scream, "Holy crap, a ghost." Yup, a ghost. This ghost, mouth dripping with blood, grins. "Newbie ghost, huh? Wow, possessing a skeleton already? That's fresh." I instinctively turn, seeing Ethan still engrossed in his book, fingers elegantly flipping pages like carved jade. The ghost glances at Ethan, waving dismissively. "No worries, scream all you want, he won't hear. You're a fresh ghost, still wet behind the ears." I nod, feeling a bit down. I'm a ghost. Even if I yelled jerk in his ear 800 times, Ethan wouldn't hear. He wouldn't pin me to the couch like before, growling, "Wanna get beat?" His husky voice used to make my heart race. I'm not in the mood to chat with this ghost and glare until it leaves. Maybe my skeleton's too weird because that night a bunch of ghosts come to gawk and I glare them all away. While fending off the ghost crowd, I'm pissed. Ethan's brain is definitely broken. Doesn't he know the night's full of bad vibes? Who opens their window to invite ghosts in? Ethan's always had a strict sleep schedule, but tonight, past midnight, he's still up. At 1 or 2 a.m., when the yin energy peaks, I chase off another batch of ghost tourists. Finally, Ethan stands and I sigh in relief, expecting him to close the window and sleep. Instead, he turns off the light, walks to the window, and lights a cigarette. Damn it, I wish I could beat him with this badass skeleton. In the dark, ghosts he can't see crowd around him. Behind him, a skeleton seethes, glaring. His cigarette glows faintly, lonely in the pitch-black space. He stands silently, exhaling smoke, muttering softly. This is when yin energy's at its peak. The ghosts nod in unison. I glare at his back. No shit, you know that too? His voice is faint, like he's afraid to hear himself. So when are you coming home? The ghosts all turn to me. I'm stunned. I thought ghosts couldn't feel pain. But it hurts so much. I know the dead rest easier than the living. Before I died, I could cockily lift Ethan's chin, teasing, "Hey, hottie, your sugar daddy will keep spoiling you next life." He'd smirk, "You sure you can afford it?" He seemed so calm, like he could head straight to work after leaving the hospital. But the moment my soul left, I couldn't bear to look at him, fleeing like a coward. I knew I'd break down. I could escape, but Ethan couldn't. He had to watch my chest stop rising, hear the flatline screech, see my body stiffen, and watch me turn to ash in the flames. Sometimes, living is more torturous than dying. As dawn nears, Ethan finally goes to bed. The ghost crowd wipes their tears and leaves, except for one, the first ghost. He circles me, curious and sympathetic about my skeleton prison, promises to find a way to free me, and floats off to sleep. I'm not sleepy. I wiggle twice, carefully hop off the hook, get used to this new body, and practice moving silently before creeping into the bedroom. Back then, I was head over heels for Ethan, and his face played a big part. Even after countless nights together, I'd wake up and trace his sleeping features with my eyes, never tiring. Ethan's looks match his personality, cool, icy, quiet, always keeping people at a distance. But after a while, you could feel the quiet warmth beneath his frosty exterior. Sometimes it's a morning candy, a soft chuckle at a prank, a silent kiss after a fight, or just calling you an idiot while ruffling your hair. This guy really knows how to drive you crazy. I lean against the bed, quietly watching him for a long time, until he rolls over, mumbling in his sleep, "Stop staring, be good, go to sleep. I don't want to leave." My gaze lands on the bedside table and my non-existent brows furrow. A delicate little box, inside a pair of rings, the smaller one, dainty and feminine. "Damn it, Ethan, you jerk, I'm gonna kill you." I'm sitting here, all touched, for nothing. My sixth sense jolts Ethan awake. Before his eyes fully open, he sees a skeleton with a ferocious vibe, raising a pillow like it's about to lob a grenade. Of course, you can't see a skeleton's ferocious vibe with the naked eye, but you can feel it in its aura. Even steady, mature Ethan gets spooked, but before he can sit up, the skeleton hurls the pillow with earth-shaking force. The next day, Ethan wakes up, brows knitted. Especially when he looks at the skeleton in the living room, his expression is complicated. He rubs his forehead, unsure if last night was a dream or if the skeleton really knocked him out with a pillow. If it's real, how much resentment does that skeleton have? Ethan lowers his hand, staring at the skeleton, still in its usual pose, but somehow radiating pride. His phone buzzes with a familiar number. Ethan, still rubbing his forehead, answers. A familiar voice sighs before speaking. "The guy you asked me to find? I found him." Ethan hums, "Thanks." The caller hesitates, then says cautiously, "You still gotta believe in science." "Yeah, science," Ethan replies calmly. "I believe the guy you found can summon his soul scientifically." What the hell? Summoning souls? That's intense. This guy aced math, physics, and chemistry in school, never dropping from the top 3, a staunch materialist, and now he's summoning souls? How? Dancing with a mask and a rattle in my house? I yell, zooming toward the skeleton, imagining a shaman pointing at me, telling Ethan to say whatever he wants, and me creaking my jaw, giving Ethan a stiff but polite smile. Heh, surprise. Huh? Too beautiful to imagine. Ethan hangs up, sounding set on this. This afternoon, the master will come to my house. I really don't want to face Ethan like this, but I can't escape the skeleton. Bummer. The ghost from yesterday phases through the wall, pats my shoulder, and looks at me like I'm a rookie. Chill, 80% of those guys are frauds. Finding a real one's tough. I glance at him. Found a way to get me out yet? Nope. Me. Then why are you here? Ghost. To watch the drama. Me. Bye. Actually, the ghost found a temporary way to free me, but it only works briefly, learned from some Taoist. I'm sitting on the windowsill with the ghost, swinging my legs, looking at the city skyline. He hands me a ghost-only ice cream, supposedly from that Taoist. I thought ghosts and Taoists were sworn enemies, but he waves it off. Ghosts and Taoists can be pals. There are so many ghosts, they can't handle us all. Makes sense. Keep learning, even after death. I lick the chocolate ice cream, sweet. Ethan never let me eat this, said it was bad for me. I ask, why not find a longer-lasting solution? I'll have to go back to the skeleton soon. The ghost says, no use. The root issue is you. You've got an obsession tying you to the thing closest to you, something familiar. No one can fix that. I nod. Should have gotten an inflatable doll instead. At least it could make noise. The ghost doesn't comment. We both sigh about not planning ahead before dying. Not everyone has obsessions, or inflatable doll factories would be in cahoots with crematoriums. I say, a few more days, I'll crash his wedding and my obsession will be gone. Then I'm free. The ghost looks at me, says, only a ghost would believe that. A moment later, he corrects himself. Nah, not even ghosts believe that. I shrug. Believe what you want. My obsession's that wedding. If he'd waited a month, I wouldn't be this pissed. The ghost bites his ice cream. You say that, but obsessions don't fade easily. Some ghosts linger for centuries over one. I ask, how long have you been here? He shakes his head. Don't remember. Maybe 200-300 years. What's your obsession? He thinks, then says, don't remember. I ponder, then ask, that Taoist? He's silent, bites his ice cream, and says, yeah. That afternoon, the master arrives on time. Ethan's polite but not warm. His friend who came along looks worried, practically screaming, Bro, you okay? Ethan ignores it. The master, in a Mao suit, holds large Buddhist beads looking the part. After brief greetings, he gets to work, pacing the room, asking about my favorite items, then muttering with closed eyes. I'm super nervous. If he summons me, what do I say to Ethan? Yo, how's it hanging? Or demand a wedding invite. Awkward either way. I float around anxiously. The ghost, bored, sits on the skeleton, munching ice cream, looking like he's annoyed there's no drama. Drama. I snap, can you respect the master a bit? Before I finish, the master lowers his beads, sighs, and says cryptically to Ethan, I found him. What do you want to say? I get jittery, zipping between the master and Ethan. What will Ethan ask? How's the afterlife? Want to come to my wedding? Can you bless me with a long life? Ethan thinks, then says calmly, ask him my bank card password. Damn it. The master looks awkward, then waves his beads dramatically. I think the ghost's right. This guy's a fraud. He's flailing and hasn't even glanced at me. I haven't figured out what to say to Ethan either, but I'm still kind of bummed. I transferred all my money to Ethan, so he never touched my card and wouldn't know the password. In hindsight, I regret not giving it to him. Even small change is still money. Bored? I float in front of Ethan's handsome face, poke his straight nose, and say, Password's your birthday, you jerk. Ethan's gaze passes through me to the master, hearing nothing. The master flails for a bit, then sighs dramatically. He forgot, he adds professionally. After crossing life and death, forgetting the past is normal. I roll my eyes. Bullshit. Total bullshit. Ethan says nothing, then smiles, his lips curving in a way that tugs at your heart. He'd never forget my birthday. You jerk, Ethan. The master laughs awkwardly. Well, if he forgot, nothing we can do. Be strong. Not sure if Ethan buys it or not, he drops the topic, asks some unrelated questions, and the master rambles nonsense. Finally, exhausted, the master sighs. He's leaving, but he has one last message for you. I perch on Ethan's shoulder, looking at the master with him. Let's see what crap he comes up with. Ethan frowns slightly, glancing at his shoulder, reaching up but passing through my ghostly form, touching only his shirt. The master says, the departed says, Darling, I'm leaving. Forget me. Marry, have kids, live happily. Ethan freezes, his hands stiffening, then lowers his head. Suddenly, I'm not mad. The words are cliche, but they're what Ethan needs to hear. Don't cling to the dead. Look to the future. It's not just for Ethan, it's for me. I'm dead. No matter how much I don't want to let go, I should. I got to keep him to myself for so long. I already won. As the room sinks into sorrow, Ethan looks up, voice casual, like he's talking about the weather. If that idiot said that, I'd chop my head off and use it as a soccer ball. Damn it. The master's embarrassed, the friend's embarrassed, but Ethan calmly transfers payment, saying, if he was really summoned, he'd say, if you dare forget me, I'll haunt your dreams with stripteases until you question your entire existence. You know me, you jerk. The ghost gives me a thumbs up. Badass, bro. The master and friend leave. Before going, the master glances at the skeleton, hesitating, then says the only credible thing, don't keep stuff like this at home. It attracts bad things. Ethan frowns. The master adds, the original owner was a doctor, protected by divine aura, so it was fine. Now it's different. Ethan nods, clearly taking it in. My heart tightens. Is this jerk gonna toss Little White? What about me? Dragged back from the underworld just to be scrapped and cremated again? As I panic, Ethan turns to Little White, his eyes gleaming. Babe, that's a wild move. The ghost's trick wears off, the world spins, and I'm sucked back into the skeleton. Ethan's walking toward me. My non-existent heart skips a beat, too scared to breathe. His eyes are intense, a mix of excitement and something creepy. He stops in front of me and we stare at each other. Well, he's staring into empty eye sockets. Gotta say, Ethan's eyes are damn pretty. After a moment, he raises his hand, gently touching Little White's cheekbone. Dude, he's not mistaking the skeleton for me, is he? What's with that suddenly tender look? Bro, snap out of it! Ghosts don't feel, but I know his fingertips are cold, faintly smelling of tobacco. His fingers pause on the cheekbone, shudder, then drop. He laughs self-deprecatingly. I must be crazy. Then he heads to the study. The ghost yells, "God damn, don't zone out. What's with your face?" I panic, touching my face. What? What? Am I disfigured? The ghost rolls his eyes. It's red as hell. Did his yang energy burn you? Feel it? Can a ghost blush? The ghost's trick only works once a day, so I'm stuck in the skeleton, posing like a badass idiot. Luckily, the ghost got nothing better to do and stays to chat. He says ghosts stick around for 2 reasons: lingering attachments or revenge. The attached ones watch their loved ones move on, starting new lives without them, and it turns to resentment. Your turn, bro. How you planning to get revenge? I glance at him. You gonna help? He's firm. You're dreaming. Goodbye. Goodbye. Revenge on Ethan, huh? Tough question. When he made me so mad I ran back from the bridge, I was fuming, but really I just couldn't accept him marrying on my 7th day. Waiting one more day wouldn't have hurt, right? I stew all afternoon, furious. No matter what, that wedding's not happening. Ghost, hell yeah. I'm gonna crash it. Let's go. It's not allowed to happen. Do it. I'll show up and spill our old stories to the guests. You coward. I'd imagined my wedding with Ethan. No big ceremony. When we both knew we were it for each other, we'd visit the moon god's temple, bow a few times, thank him for tying our fates, then have a quiet dinner with close friends. Done. No need for rings. Ethan asked why. I said grandly, we're together for love, not shackles like rings. He paused, then said, no way, your brain's too dumb. Without something to tie you down, you might get lost. Great. Now I'm dead, and he's tying down someone else. Ugh, so mad. Ethan comes to the living room, then heads to the kitchen for water. His gaze lingers on Little White, hesitates, then he walks over with his glass. We stare at each other again. His eyes curve slightly like he's amused, in a great mood. It throws me off. After a bit, he smirks. I'm kind of looking forward to that striptease. The ghost grabs my soul, panicking. Calm down, don't lose it now. Finally, the jerk goes back to his room. The ghost, exhausted, floats half-transparent, asking, You two were in a sugar daddy thing? I ask, doesn't it seem like it? He shakes his head. Never seen a stingier sugar daddy. Looks more like he was sponsoring you. I don't respond. The whole sponsorship thing sounds dumb, but it was the only way I could think of. We'd lost touch for years, just a dead contact in WeChat, like the other never existed. Weirdly, neither of us deleted the other. It sat there like a silent gravestone. 10 minutes after my diagnosis, I accepted my fate. 15 minutes in, I called Ethan. It was easier than deciding whether to fight or spend my last days in a haze. The phone rang forever, almost long enough for me to hang up before he answered. His voice was calm, natural, like we were still together, like we'd watched a movie the day before. I said, I need to see you. Now. He paused for 3 seconds. Okay. That day, he was his introverted self, barely saying 3 words while signing the contract. Before I could turn on the light, his brooding face pinned me against the door. Then came an indescribable storm. From the entrance to the living room, kitchen table, bedroom, bathroom, clothes strewn on the floor, muffled moans echoing endlessly. That day, we were both insane. Or rather, that day we came back to life. Gotta admit, his stamina was unreal. After that wild day, Ethan collapsed on me, burying his face, the one I was crazy for, in my neck. I felt him trembling. Panicked, I pushed him. Hey, don't tell me you regret signing and sleeping with me. I didn't force you. He held me tight, like he wanted to meld into me, then bit my collarbone, voice muffled. Shut up. Okay, trial run. Party B's working hard, and the sugar daddy's very satisfied. Would have been better if I didn't need 3 days to get out of bed. Back to the sponsorship. It was about giving him an out. That kind of relationship is easier to let go of than love. Give your kidneys, not your heart. Basic adult self-protection. Self-deception's fine. I didn't expect him to quit his job the next day and start mooching off me. I raged, Why'd you quit? He looked calm, a bit confused, and a touch wronged. Aren't you my sugar daddy? Why should I work? His looks blinded me, my brain short-circuited, and I could only say, "Fine, fine, you're hot, whatever you say." At dusk, Ethan comes out with 4 old books sitting across from me to read. The window's still open, and I'm like a zoo exhibit, drawing ghost stares. Female ghosts swarm him, shamelessly drooling, poking his face. "Hey, who said you could touch him? Hands off!" Today, Ethan's distracted. His phone buzzes multiple times, but he glances and ignores it, tossing it aside. The caller, impatient, rings again. Ethan stares at the screen, and just when I think he won't answer, he picks up, voice flat. "Mom." I hold my breath. Ethan's family is old school, his parents conservative, unable to accept 2 guys together. His mom's especially tough, her word law. Even his dad doesn't dare argue. Back then, after learning about us, she and Ethan clashed for a month. Ethan, stubborn as hell, dragged me to their house, scaring me to death. I thought I'd get a broom to the face, but his mom just gave me a cold stare like I was a bug she couldn't squash. Ethan didn't back down, holding my hand so tight it hurt. He said, "This is who I'm with. Deal with it." I was sweating bullets, but damn, he was cool. In the end, his mom didn't approve, but she didn't disown him either. Just a tense stalemate. We didn't talk about it much after that, but I knew it weighed on him. Now, hearing her voice through the phone, I brace myself. Is she calling about the wedding? Is she the one pushing this marriage? Ethan's voice stays flat. "Yeah, I'm fine." A pause. His mom's voice is muffled, but I catch, "Time to move on. Family expects." Ethan's jaw tightens. "I know what I'm doing." Another pause, longer this time. Then his mom says something sharp, and Ethan snaps. "I said I'll handle it." He hangs up, tossing the phone on the couch like it's radioactive. I'm stunned. Ethan's not the type to lose his cool, especially not with his mom. Something's off. The ghost, still munching on his ice cream, floats over. "Drama's heating up. You gonna crash that wedding or what?" I glare at him. "Mind your own business." He smirks. "You're the one stuck in a skeleton, brooding over your ex. I'm just here for the show." I ignore him, my mind racing. Ethan's not acting like a guy about to get married. No suit fittings, no wedding invites, no giddy excitement, just this. Mixing my medicine, talking to fake mediums, arguing with his mom. Something doesn't add up. That night, I'm back in the skeleton, creaking around the living room. Ethan's asleep, or at least pretending to be. I sneak into his room again, unable to resist. The ring box is still on the bedside table, mocking me. I stare at the smaller ring. Feminine, delicate, perfect for some dainty bride. My non-existent stomach churns. I want to smash it, but my bony fingers can't even pick it up. The ghost pops up again, uninvited. "Still obsessing over that wedding?" I snap. "What do you care? Go haunt your Taoist." He laughs, unfazed. "Touchy. Look, if you're so mad, why not find out where this wedding is? Crash it for real. Scare the bride away." I pause. He's got a point. If I'm going to be a vengeful ghost, might as well go big. But deep down, I know it's not about the bride. It's about Ethan. It's always been about Ethan. The next day, I'm determined. I need answers. The ghost trick works again, and I'm free from the skeleton for a bit. I float around, trying to snoop. Ethan's phone is my best bet, but I can't unlock it. Ghost hands suck at touchscreens. Luckily, Ethan's careless today. He leaves his phone on the kitchen counter, screen still on. I hover over it, squinting at his calendar. Nothing. No wedding day marked, no venue bookings, no meet the in-laws reminders, just a recurring alarm for my medicine time every day, like clockwork. I'm confused as hell. The ghost, lounging on the couch, says, "Told you. No wedding vibes here. You sure that other ghost wasn't messing with you?" I freeze. Could it be? Was the gossip at the Bridge of Sighs just that gossip? Some bored ghost stirring up trouble? I shake my head. No way, no way. The rings, the call from his mom. It's happening. It has to be. But doubt creeps in. Ethan comes back, grabbing his phone. He glances at Little White again, his expression soft, almost wistful. Then he mutters, "You'd hate me for keeping this place so boring." I'm floored. Is he talking to me? The ghost snickers. He's losing it. Grief's a hell of a drug. I want to scream, "I'm right here, you idiot!" But I'm stuck, silent, watching him live in this weird limbo. That afternoon, Ethan gets another call. This time, it's his friend again, the one who found the master. Ethan puts it on speaker, probably too tired to hold the phone. "Dude," the friend says, "you gotta stop this. The medium thing was a bust. You're scaring me." Ethan sighs. I know it sounds crazy, but I feel him. He's here. My heart, if I had one, would stop. The friend groans. Ethan, he's gone. You've got to let go. This isn't healthy. Ethan's quiet for a long time. Then he says so softly I barely hear, I can't. The friend tries again. What about your mom? She keeps calling me, saying you're dodging her. Something about a family arrangement? Ethan's voice hardens. She wants me to marry some girl she picked. Thinks it'll fix me. I told her no. I'm shaking. No wedding? No fiancé? The ghost whistles. Plot twist. I want to punch him, but I'm too stunned. All this time, I thought Ethan was moving on, marrying some girl, leaving me behind. But he's fighting his family, holding on to me. The friend sighs. Look, I get it. You loved him. But you can't keep living like this. The medicine, the skeleton, the medium, it's not bringing him back. Ethan doesn't respond. He just hangs up, staring at the floor. I'm reeling. The rings, the damn rings. If there's no wedding, what are they for? I float to the bedroom, glaring at the box. I need to know. I focus every ounce of ghost energy trying to nudge it open. It's like pushing a boulder with a feather, but finally it pops open. 2 rings. One delicate, one larger, masculine, engraved inside the smaller one, my initials. Inside the larger one, Ethan's. I'm done. My soul feels like it's imploding. The ghost floats over, peeking at the rings. Well, damn, that's not a wedding for someone else. I can't speak. I can't think. All I can do is stare at those rings, meant for us. Ethan walks in, sees the open box, and freezes. His face crumples just for a second before he shuts it down. He picks up the box, clutching it like it's the last piece of me he has. I was gonna ask, he whispers, not to anyone, just to the air. Before you got sick, I had it all planned. Moon God's temple, just like you wanted. I'm breaking. Ghosts aren't supposed to cry, but I'm sobbing, silent and invisible. He sits on the bed, still holding the box. You idiot, you didn't even give me a chance to say it. The ghost for once isn't snarky. He just pats my shoulder. You're not here for revenge, are you? I shake my head. No, I never was. I came back because I couldn't let go, because Ethan was my obsession, my unfinished business. Not his wedding, him. The next few days I watch Ethan closer. He's not preparing for a wedding, he's grieving. The medicine routine, the untouched house, the late night talks to no one, it's all for me. He's keeping me alive in the only way he knows how. The 7th day comes, the supposed wedding day. Nothing happens. No guests, no suit, no bride. Just Ethan mixing my medicine, strawberry flavor, and pouring it down the sink. I'm done being angry. I'm just sad. The ghost shows up again, looking serious. You gotta go back to the bridge. You can't stay here forever. I know he's right. My obsession's keeping me here, but it's not fair to Ethan. He needs to live, not be haunted by a ghost who can't move on. I nod. One last thing. That night, I wait for the ghost's trick to free me again. I float to Ethan's side while he sleeps. I can't touch him, but I lean close, whispering, I'm sorry, you jerk. I love you. Always will. He stirs like he hears me in his dreams. The ghost takes me to the Bridge of Sighs. Lady Meng's there, looking pissed about the soup incident. I apologize and she hands me a new bowl, muttering about damn kids these days. I look back, one last time at the world I'm leaving. Ethan's face flashes in my mind, his smirk, his icy eyes, his quiet warmth. I drink the soup. Everything fades. Epilogue. Ethan wakes up the next morning feeling lighter. He can't explain it, but the house feels different. Emptier, but not in a bad way. He looks at Little White, still posed like a badass. For the first time in days, he smiles, real and soft. You're free now, aren't you? He says. He doesn't mix the medicine that day. Instead, he takes the ring box, slips the larger ring on his finger, and tucks the smaller one in his pocket. See you next life, idiot, he whispers. And somewhere in the haze of the afterlife, I smile.